Irian Jaya in Papua province of East Indonesia, and once again ShareHim is going to where the people are, skimming across the water with their water taxi loaded with a laptop and projector. Ed and Josephine Varley, along with Lillian Rosenberg, are traveling to their site where they will be holding their evangelistic meetings. Each evening, folks from other islands travel the lake to hear these volunteer evangelists. During the day, the evangelists, along with the local pastor and elder, visit families in their humble homes on the island. There's a unique feature about ShareHim, which was formerly known as global evangelism. You see, ShareHim goes to where the people are. The bedroom communities, the downtown areas. ShareHim evangelists compete with hawkers selling in the markets, Mother Nature, and even wandering pigs, goats, and even donkeys. Volunteer evangelists speak in schools, churches, and auditoriums. They set up pulpits along dirt paths, in the byways, and even along the roads less traveled. Volunteer evangelists come with laptops, projectors, and multimedia presentations. When the electricity fails, they just keep on preaching. You see, the Holy Spirit is working in Indonesia, Africa, Inter-America, and of course, right here in the homeland. Here we are in Irian Jaya. It is called one of the most primitive and untouched land in all the world. A place where only a few years ago, cannibalism was commonly practiced. It was a forgotten land, a land where time stood still. National Geographic calls it one of the wildest and isolated frontiers on the earth. Just getting to a village is a challenge. One must traverse a thick jungle where roads are nearly non-existent. And from where the road ends, the journey to the remote interior is just beginning. For Bob Roberts, missionary to Irian Jaya, the solution is simple. He bypasses the roads. He bypasses them altogether. He takes to the skies, which enables him to visit some of the most remote places on the island. In an area roughly the size of California, Irian Jaya has a population of 2 million people. Irian Jaya, a province of the country of Indonesia, actually occupies only half of an island. The other half is the independent state of Papua New Guinea. For Seventh-day Adventists, the island is an example of the incredible challenge to spread the gospel. In New Guinea, the church has an enormous presence. For every 6 people in the country, 1 is a Seventh-day Adventist. In Irian Jaya, the figure is 1 in every 3,500. Air travel is the key to reaching the villages with a message of hope. Even though air travel is quicker than traveling by land, it comes with its share of risks. The jungle canopy is so thick there's no place to land in case of an emergency. Even if one landed safely, there's no guarantee of survival in the remote interior. Many of the runways could hardly be considered safe. For Bush pilot Roberts, it's always a challenge to bring his plane in for a safe landing. Traveling in Robert's plane, it's like traveling in a time machine. When you step into the plane, it's the 21st century. But when you step out, it's the Stone Age. There's probably no more of a primitive place on the planet. Until recently, cannibalism and tribal warfare were common practices. Even though the Indonesian government has passed a law preventing these customs, some believe they still exist in some places. It's not uncommon to see older women with their fingers cut off at various lengths. Jan Roberts explains.
When a person dies in this culture, the woman will cut off a knuckle And it's supposed to be outlawed at this time, so it doesn't occur a lot except out in the most remote areas, but you will see women with many knuckles missing. And the men, rather than doing that, will take a chunk out of their ear. And you'll see in this gentleman several places which have obviously been cut out or bitten out.
It is here in Irian Jaya, this strange and primitive land, that ShareHim has chosen to come. Armed only with a laptop and projector, several volunteers from across the United States traveled halfway around the world to this island in the Pacific. Participants are usually high school or college students, middle-aged or senior citizens. You see, really, age is not a criteria, nor is prior preaching experience. Listen to young Stephanie Roberts, who held a series of meetings at the Adventist school.
I really had no other experience preaching before. I have done some, little speeches for worship and stuff, but I had never really done preaching. And so when this started, I was a bit nervous, but I knew the Holy Spirit was with me, and I knew that He would speak through me. And so that has given me some strength. And yes, I would recommend it to other young people, especially going overseas. For other teenagers, I would highly recommend it going to another place and trying to do it, and then going back to their homeland and doing one.
All is not work for the volunteer evangelists. Bush pilot Roberts flew several folks on one of his trips to the interior. Pastor Rade from the Rocky Mount Conference enjoyed playing soccer with the young people in the village. On another trip, they met a global mission pioneer and visited folks in the village where Roberts had to administer medical aid to several villagers. If you have a desire in your heart to lead people to Jesus, if you have a humble and teachable spirit, if you want a spiritual experience that will create memories which will last a lifetime, then you are a prime candidate for a ShareHim experience. Many folks choose to start right where they are, in their home church. Everything is prepared for you. You simply read from the prepared text right from the screen on your laptop. Then merely press the button to advance the image on the screen.
Who would have thought that I would have been able to baptize 3 people here in this church, and for the first time at 19, who does that? But it has been an awesome experience, and I thank the Lord, and I thank ShareHim, and I thank the Fayetteville Seventh-day Adventist Church for giving me this opportunity.
Or you may choose to gain experience first at a global site somewhere in the world.
The reason that I got involved with global evangelism to begin with was because I had this gnawing feeling that I wasn't doing what God wanted me to do. I was going through the motions, I was playing church, and so I went overseas to get into it. And it was a tremendous opportunity, but I always knew that what I was going over there for was to come back and do it here.
Do you realize the Lord may be calling you? Are you ready to allow the Holy Spirit to fill you with patience, passion, and power? The world is beckoning. Are you ready to share Him?